Hi, my name is Joshua Pearce, and I'm an endowed professor of material science and engineering and electrical and computing engineering at Michigan Tech. That sounds like a big mouthful. What it really means is I'm an interdisciplinary researcher that attacks problems from many different angles. I originally got interested in being a professor quite a long time ago. I've always thought science was really fun and interesting. And when I was in high school, I finally had an opportunity to have my own room. The deal, though, was it had to be in the basement. So I converted one of the rooms in our basement into my bedroom. And half of the room was sort of like a normal room, but I'd always been interested in two things, sports and science. And so on the other half of the room was a weight room. And in between, I had a lab to do electronics and basic chemistry. So I like to do experiments and invent things from the time I was very young, and I ended up really following that kind of love of invention and solving problems into my career. I was a chemistry and physics double major in college, and I did that. I originally went into just physics because I thought it was the hardest science and the most interesting, but my dad was really concerned about my future career. He wanted to make sure I was employable, and it wasn't super clear what physicists do. I now understand that there's many jobs for physicists as well as chemists, but I think it was good to have that kind of interdisciplinary experience and perspective from very young so that I could attack problems from different angles. I ended up going into materials engineering for graduate school, and the reason for that is when I was an undergrad, I did 3 different research kind of jobs. One I did in chemistry, one I did in physics, and one I did in materials engineering when I was studying abroad in Scotland. And I found that to be the most interesting because it was very applied. We were trying to solve real world problems. And the problem I wanted to solve for graduate school was to make solar cells more efficient and less costly. And so I became a material engineer to focus specifically on making solar cells as efficiently as they could be. And so I knew I wanted to be a professor and continue to work on research, kind of attack problems that I was interested in, just not what a particular job had thought that I needed to be working on. And that's the real kind of beauty of being a professor. You can attack problems from any angle, anything that you're interested in. So now I do research in open source hardware and 3D printing and solar cells. Solar cells was the same as my original plan in graduate school, always trying to make them more efficient. Today they're the least cost form of energy available, and they're growing faster than any other energy source. I got into open source hardware and 3D printing in order to make my own equipment. When you use digital fabrication and open source hardware where people freely share their designs, it radically reduces the costs so that we can all take part in science. If you're interested in any of the work that I'm doing, everything that my group does is open source. It's on appropedia.org/most. You can download all the designs for all of our equipment, all of our experiments, and all of our papers. Thank you.